Have you ever heard of these names? Warren De La Rue, Humphrey Davy, or Joseph Swan? Except for the physics enthusiasts sitting in this auditorium, I think that no one else has ever heard of these names. For your information, these are the names of the scientists that invented the light bulb before Thomas Alva Edison. But they couldn't tell it to the world. Why? What is the reason that we only know Thomas Alva Edison as the inventor of electric bulb? The answer is quite simple. Thomas Alva Edison could express himself more clearly than other three scientists. He could tell to the world, in the simplest of the words, about what is an electric bulb. So, is the power of expression everything we need to be successful in our life? Hello and good morning. I'm Keerthan Rathod, 16-year-old studying at the Organizing School, Sainik School Bijapur, here to speak about the power of words and the power of expression. So what is expression? Expression is quite simple. It's nothing but just telling the world what's present in your mind. Expression is very integral in our life. Expression is integral in our life. It's ingrained into most of the activities that we do in our daily life. Be it complimenting the chef that made you the food, be it complimenting the speaker that spoke at your assembly, and many more. These expressions are carried by the words. Words are the carriers of expression. Words flow out of your mouth. Words are so beautiful and they're so powerful. And they're all around us. Our ancestors have told us it's very important for us to know the surroundings, to know the things that surround us. So, it's important for us to know the potential that words hold within themselves. So, what is the potential of words? What potential do the words have? Words can almost do anything, from starting a war to ending a war and bridging gaps. They can almost create new worlds and destroy the old worlds. But still, many of us have not harnessed the power that words hold within themselves. Many of us have not mastered that art of speaking, mastered that art of communication. Why is it so? This answer is the most burning hot question. So, what can we do in order to bring a change in the way we speak? How can we avoid being so boring? How can we be more enthusiastic about the topic that we are trying to speak? For that, I want you all to perform a small activity and realize the power of expression and communication. Ladies and gentlemen, close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world without words. A world devoid of the beautiful symphony of language, where thoughts remain trapped inside the minds of the person, unable to bridge the gap between the souls. It's a world stripped of connection, inspiration, and emotion. It's a world where the ends do not meet. Now, let's open our eyes and embark on a journey to discover the transformation that the power of words and the art of expression can do. Hoping that you imagine the world where there are no words, I want you to draw the similarities between your world and my world. But for that, I will tell what happened in my imaginary world. In my imaginary world, there were people just like you and me who could not speak at all. And there were chaos. Why were there chaos? People could not tell to each other what they felt. They could not tell their emotions. They could not tell their thoughts. They could not tell their ideas to the person in front of them. They were becoming the prisoners of their own mind. Being the prisoner of your own mind is nothing but killing your creativity, killing your personality. So, how can we avoid being the prisoner of your own mind and escape from that treacherous prison? The answer is quite simple. Express yourselves more clearly. Use the power that God has given you. The power of imagination, the power of expression, and the power of inspiring others. When we start expressing ourselves more clearly, the society will start to accept us slowly. When you feel happy, you jump with joy or smile with glee. When you feel sad, you want to cry or be alone. When you hear a joke, you laugh out too loud. That word, too loud, is the problem. You start to face judgments by other people. These are the barriers between you and the entire world. This brings the problem in you. You start to fear from the society. You think, how will people judge me if I do this? How will people judge me if I do that? That needs to be avoided. When we express freely, we open our mind and soul to the entire world. We become comfortable with ourselves as well as others. But when we're afraid and we are not ready to express ourselves clearly, we are not clear when we are trying to tell something. This leads to judgments. You're unclear. You're not sure about what you're trying to speak. This leads to judgments. Let's learn from a small child. A small child is not at all worried about what the people are going to tell. It's not afraid of being judged. A child expresses himself so clearly. The expression of a child is universal. When he cries, all the people come to console him. But as we grow old, this ability reduces. This depletes in our mind. As we grow, we need to grow that potential. We need to be, less afraid of the people that are around us. But the opposite happens. There is a term called retrogressive metamorphosis in biology, where an organism goes from the developed stage to a primitive stage. The same thing happens here. When we are a baby, or a kid, we are not afraid of the people that surround us. We are not afraid to be judged. But as we grow up, we start to fear from the society. What will people say if I do this? How will people react if I laugh out too loud? If I cry a lot? This needs to be avoided. How can we avoid it? There is no way to avoid it, some people may say, but I have found a solution. This solution is going to revolutionize lives. The answer is you need to take initiative. Whenever your teacher calls to do a speech in the class, you need to be the first one to raise the hands. Whenever your principal tells you to do a speech, you need to be the first one to go on the stage and speak. By this, you're coming out of the shell. You are escaping from that prison which I mentioned earlier. This escape from the prison is going to reward you with a lot of success. But we hold on to ourselves. Still we think, what will society say? So, from all this, we can gather that society is the main barrier between your expression, your thoughts, and the outside world. So, what can we do? We usually try to hide our true self and put up a face to the society that will please them. But we don't realize that the opposite person is also thinking the same. He is also afraid of us. He is afraid that how are we going to judge him? He is not going to analyze our thoughts and analyze our actions. We need to realize this and take our next step. Now let's look at a few examples where people have done the same thing. Let's look at the example of Malala Yousafzai, a young Pakistani activist who was oppressed by the Taliban regime. Words have been the catalyst of change for Malala Yousafzai. She was able to revolutionize the life of thousands of girls in Pakistan and free them from the oppression of the Taliban. Words have been the catalyst of change in the history too. Let's take the example of Martin Luther King Jr., who shook the foundations of racial injustice. Then we have Nelson Mandela, who was a visionary leader, who harnessed the power of words to change an entire system, the system of apartheid. In the realm of human existence, words hold an extraordinary ability to shape the life. They possess the power to transcend space and time, which transcend the barriers of culture, religion, and language. With a single word, we can kill someone or we can save someone. We can ignite the flames of passion, heal the deepest of wounds, and kindle the sparks of revolution. But my friends, excess of anything is bad. With power comes great responsibility, they say. So the impact of words stretches beyond the individual lives. They can either uplift or demean. They can build bridges or erect barriers. A single word of encouragement might save someone's life, might send someone to greater heights. But bullying someone is going to send them deep into the depression that they are in. A kind gesture might have the power to save someone's day, but a mean thing can destroy someone's day. But to restore the faith in humanity, the words need to be used effectively. What I want to say is that God has indiscriminately given us the most powerful instrument that we all use in our daily lives, words. But the one who masters it gets to taste the sweetness of success in his life. To conclude, I would like to quote a Sufi proverb. In the desert, no one shall tell you not to eat stones. In the same way, in your life, no one will tell you to do this or to do that. You are the only one who is going to make the decisions, and you are the only one who is going to be successful in your own life. Thank you all.